Hey everyone.
Welcome to the Field Between. I'm Yasmin.
I'm Ahmed. Good to be here again.
Yeah, good to be here. We've got a new, should we tell them what we're thinking for future episodes? A new kind of layout?
I think what we'll do, just to keep things easy on our end, is we'll try to do a reading every other week, and then the weeks in between we'll just kind of do a more fun episode that we don't have to prepare as much for.
Yeah, I like that because we have time to do the reading. And I also enjoy the lighthearted episodes too. They're a good time. So It seems like a good mix.
Yeah.
So last week we did Sufi poetry. This week we're going to be doing Icks.
Yeah. That's what people call them. I like to think of it as kind of like a mild intervention.
But that implies that you can change it, and you can't always change it.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just keep things light, but you have some things to go through before that, don't you?
Yeah, I have some items.
Or is there anything that you want to update on generally? You're still trying to submit your dissertation.
It's been sent back, like, no lie, maybe 8 times from the graduate school.
Yeah.
And I thought that it was a bot. It's all formatting issues at this point. That's it. Like, this page is supposed to have a 2-inch margin, whatever.
You got chocolate all over this other page.
No, it's all digital.
Oh.
And I thought there was like a bot that was, evaluating it and sending it back to me. And I was horrified to learn with this last email that it's an actual human person. And I feel like an asshole for not being able to figure it out because she's just been emailing me all day drafts. I think I finally got it in.
The thing that just boggles my mind is that in your...
trying to calculate how long I've been in school.
11 or 12 years of school.
I mean, what are you counting as school? Like
undergrad, master's, and then PhD.
11, yeah.
11. They just didn't teach you like academic formatting automatic. Like Word does this automatically.
Yeah, honestly, it never occurred to me. And you told me that I could have made like an automatic table of contents, which would have been so helpful.
You just manually typed it.
Yeah, when you have a 202 page document, if you add like a paragraph on page 160, it then fucks up the rest of the formatting and citations.
That's just crazy to me. You do need an intervention for that. That was just insane. The fact that
so I have to go back and manually rechange the table of contents because the page numbers have shifted.
You called me in at some point. You're like, how do I fix this? And I was just like, you have to redo all of it.
I haven't though. I will for sure inshallah for the book, but I just it was too late, too late. But I've told other people since then. I told my really good friend Brittany, and you saved her because she's like in the thick of the dissertation writing process right now, only has a chapter down and is writing more, maybe 2 chapters. But she was like, oh, that's good to know. And just don't teach that in grad school. It's some real basic shit that they should.
It is good to know.
Yeah. No, they should definitely teach that. There should be a whole formatting class. Oh no, did my laptop just die? Is my laptop one of your icks? Oh, it's back.
That's a good one to add, actually. The thing needs to go.
No, it works.
It's a fire hazard.
It's fine. You got me that electrical tape. I still have to use it.
We're gonna both one day we're just gonna both die, and it'll be because of an electrical fire caused by the charger with exposed wiring.
God forbid. Not related, but my item for today was about Lupe Fiasco.
Oh, is it a video that I should pull up on my end?
No, it's not. It's just a Twitter thread.
Okay.
I love Twitter, y'all. It's one of the worst things about me. I feel like a lot of things that are bad about me, like Twitter.
I feel like, or I just heard that Threads is actually not doing so well.
Really? I haven't made the shift yet because
it was heavily downloaded, but now their like monthly active users are down.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twitter is like bad for the world, but it's so much fun. You just get such random people talking to each other. And so Lupe Fiasco was a rapper. I feel like he was big in like the early 2000s. Like when I was in college, like from 2010 to 2014, I was also in college in the Midwest and like, was Muslim and looking for Muslims. But I remember him being pretty big then. How about you? Like I don't hear much of his music now.
I never really listened to a lot of his music, but I remember just people being like, he's Muslim. Blah,
yeah.
Like, okay.
He's from Chicago, so I feel like in Wisconsin it was close enough that also a lot of people who grew up in the Midwest were excited about him.
Yeah.
But anyway, I used to love a lot of his music, and I still do. I don't listen to it often anymore, but I enjoy it. And he has just been really active on Twitter recently for some reason. And it's been this amazing, strange kind of confluence of all these academic Muslim scholars and then like Muslim Twitter trolls talking to him about his takes on Islam. And it's so weird, but so fun and so just like chaotic and ridiculous. So this was his take on jinn on July 13th, which he's actually deleted. I had to like track this down. He said, I don't believe in jinn or any of the other overly superstitious or supernatural aspects of Islam. I don't believe in similar claims from Christians, Jews, Wiccans, Buddhists, or atheists. I do believe in subtly elegant complexity of nature, though. Which, like, I mean, there are jinn in the Quran. Jinn are, like, you know, unseen spirits. They also get tied often to a lot of specific, like, different cultural stories and traditions about different types of jinn. But I don't think it's, like, a matter of, like, life or death. I mean, I don't know. I'm not, like, a theologian, but it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Internet is, like, going crazy. This is very disappointing from Lupe Fiasco. Like, he's, like, an imam or something. Like, he's an apostate. Yeah, like... Just like people saying like Daniel Hakikachu, who is like the scum of the earth. I hate him. He's an awful human being. But he was like, should Muslims on Twitter have pushed Lupe to clarify his positions on jinn, Quran, even though it resulted in him expressing kufr or like disbelief? Yes. Obviously, even before his hatred for Quran was ousted, no Muslim should have followed him.
Hatred for Quran?
I don't know what he's referring to there. As he was a promoter of haram. Just like so like intense and silly. Yeah, so really messy, really silly. But I just kind of like all these random people talking to each other. I love the chaos of it. I love that Lupe, I don't know what he's doing right now, but he has time to respond to all these tweets and that he's like actively engaging. Is a really good time. And he also had to like explain to his followers who probably like don't really follow these sort of debates what's going on. Let me find that tweet. These are heretical takes, Mr. Lupe. Yeah. Or I guess Mr. Fiasco. Yeah, I don't think that's like his legal name, but yeah. Wait, so he just said that and then people are freaking out because jinn are in the Quran and yeah. He said to the bystanders, I'll be randomly dealing with goofy religious people over the next week over what my beliefs are. Pay it no mind. But if it gets too much of a brain drain, let me apologize in advance for the behavior and shenanigans, like laughing face. Yeah. Because there must be people who follow him for his music who are like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I thought that was funny. That's, yeah, I don't understand why people are tying themselves in knots just over what Lupe Fiasco said. Also, I just feel like it's not that crazy. Like, of the things to pick in the Quran that you're just like, I struggle believing in this. Completely. Yeah, if there was something to be like, you know, I get both perspectives just in terms of like not the way that it played out, but in terms of like having the position of like, hey, if it's in the Quran, you have to contend with it. Yeah. But I also feel like it's kind of valid to be like, oh, you know, in our current world, with the way that we think about things, it's hard for me to think about a whole sphere of unseen beings that I don't interact with, you know, and not to like maybe view that in a more metaphorical light, you know. Yeah. I mean, there are stories that are pretty specific about like jinn talking to like the Prophet Sulaiman. So it's like, it would be confusing, I guess, if you kind of, how would you deal with that story otherwise? But yeah, it certainly shouldn't affect your belief. There's no need to like takfir someone over that and say that they're an unbeliever. It's also like, not an Islamic scholar. I mean, he's a sincere believer or whatever, but he's not like saying like, he's not prescribing to other people not to believe in jinn. He's just saying what he thinks. He's just saying what he thinks. And also I feel like there wasn't as much of an uproar like when someone like, you know, like Andrew Tate converted to Islam, right? 100%. When he was like hanging out with like, there were people who were annoyed on the basis that he's just like a shitty guy. Yeah. And he's, you know, but a lot of Muslim guys were just like, oh wow, he's you know, we should welcome him to Islam. We should be patient. We should meet him halfway completely. Yeah. I feel like if Andrew Tate was just like I don't know, like I don't believe that Jesus existed or something, like I don't know, like they'd be like, well, he's kind of a smart guy, blah blah blah. I don't know. I wonder what the overlap between these circles is. That's pretty strong. I think that they are more not with Lupe, but with like Daniel Hakikachu and Andrew Tate. I think that they're more likely to let go like misogyny and stuff than they are like other stuff. Like, you know. Yeah. Who is Daniel Pikachu? He's an awful guy. He's a convert and he's part of like this kind of blue pill, red pill Muslim manosphere thing. That's just like very extreme and very misogynistic. Is he old? No, he's fairly young.
Like our age?
Probably, maybe a little older. Yeah.
Mm.
And I don't care about this kind of stuff, but he also, it's just interesting. Like he has that I'm aware of, I don't think he has a lot of technical religious training at like Al-Azhar or like another kind of like what people would call a quote unquote traditional setting.
He's just a cool guy.
He's just a guy who's made it his business to like call people apostates and brags about how his wife doesn't talk to people and prays in a closet.
We have so many closets in this house.
We do. We could definitely turn one of them into a prayer space.
For you, yeah.
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 We also we have a basement.
We do, which is
I'd
great.
be willing to let you pray in the basement.
That's really generous, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Was there anything else?
Yeah.
What else?
Rough transition, but speaking of gender and gender debates, there's been a lot of really funny, like silly, I think mostly lighthearted gender wars with these two new movies that are coming out, Barbie and Oppenheimer, and just like a lot of silly conversations about crossover.
Yeah, a lot of people are planning to do Barbenheimer.
Yeah, like go see both of them.
Yeah, because they both open tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Are you trying to do Barbenheimer?
No, I think I'd want to see them separately.
Well, you're not watching them at the same time.
But I don't want to like see them in the same setting.
You go from one room to the other.
Yeah,
you buy tickets for both.
I don't want to do that. I'll see Oppenheimer with you.
Uh-huh.
And then when Kylie and Iz come, I'm going to make them dress up with me and see Barbie.
Dress up?
Yeah, I want to like get really dressed up.
What's
I'm really
your Barbie
excited.
outfit?
Just like a lot of pink.
Do you have that much pink?
I have to buy a tutu, but I have everything else.
You have to buy for this. Okay, all right, I see.
I have everything else ready. I was not a big Barbie person actually as a kid. I loved dolls. I didn't love Barbie, but I love pink, especially as an adult. And I just love, it's been so much fun. Like all the like branding and aesthetics around the movie have been awesome and hilarious.
Yeah. The marketing has been pretty good.
It's been great. Yeah. Like Margot Robbie, like for all of her Hollywood junket before the strike, at least, was wearing like only outfits that like match Barbie's outfits. Like it's been really fun. Mm-hmm. But one of the things I'm most excited about is to see Ryan Gosling's performance. I've always liked Ryan Gosling as Ken. Yeah. But he's been like really charming and hilarious about this. So at first he wasn't sure about the role. I think I told you this though. But then he like saw his little daughter, like Ken was like face down in the mud, and he took a picture and he like texted Greta Gerwig, the director, and was like, his story must be told. Like, I will be your Barbie. Ken. And he's just been, I'll be your Ken. And he's been so into it, like to a bizarre degree.
Yeah.
That I think is really charming and funny.
I see stories like that and I'm like, fake.
No,
they just did this for the movie promo.
I mean, good though. Maybe. It's like a good, it's like good world building. I think it's going to be fun. Yeah. So have you seen the GQ series, which is like 10 things I can't live without?
Is that where they go in and just ask them a bunch of questions at their homes?
No, that's another one. I'm such a sucker for all of these
72
for all of these stupid like YouTube things. I love them. I love like hot wings. I love all of them.
Yeah.
I love what I eat in a day. But the GQ one is like, what are your top 10 items? And it's usually like very suave men, and they're like, oh, I can't leave the house without this watch, without this. You know, I always wear this.
My Prada shawl.
Yeah, exactly. This is brilliant marketing. I guess I'm like a sucker for marketing, but this is 10. Like the 10 things he can't live without.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What are the 10 things?
It's so funny.
All right. What
so we're gonna watch it. You can insert like a little clip. I'm not gonna make you watch all of it.
Oh, it's a video.
It's a video. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you'll have to send me this after.
One thing off. The Ken rule is you put 3 things on.
Hold your mic to it.
Hi, I'm Ryan Gosling. If you're a Ken, or you're Ken curious, or you're just Kenfused like I was, here are my top 10 Ken essentials to help you tap into your Kenergy. Headband. Preferably lightning. The headband is important for form and function. It differentiates between good Ken and bad Ken. And when you put it on, it sends a clear signal that it's go time. But it's essential that someone see you put it on, and preferably they see you put it on from behind too. This motion is important. You can also achieve this with a ball cap. You sort of start brim first, eyes cast in shadow.
It's just so brilliant how they're like mimicking the physical objects that the toys were.
Yeah, I think that's the idea of the movie.
Ready to fire. Sunglasses. Ken's got to have at least 2 pairs at all times. You want the first pair to be something that Barbie would also wear. She needs them for whatever reason. You have them at the ready. Dark ones are great because they can hide your sadness. You never want to risk bumming Barbie out. That's also why you have a second pair that are mirrored so you can reflect Barbie's greatness, because that's really your job. You know, and she can use them to put on lipstick while you hide your sadness. So, 2 pairs of sunglasses. Clutch.
Anyway, I'm gonna stop there,
Okay.
but it's so funny. He keeps on going throughout the whole thing. He's so in character. He's been doing all of his press in character.
Yeah.
I also just think Ryan Gosling is not my typical physical type at all.
Yeah.
But he is like a cutie. And I remember like back in the day with the like feminist
The
memes.
Notebook.
No, like remember the memes that he became famous for, that he was used for?
Oh, the Hey Girl one.
He was like, hey girl, like I want to support your
Yeah.
liberation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought it was really cute.
Nice. Well, it seems like they figured out the marketing and the target audience.
Yeah.
That it,
Good job.
if anyone from the Barbie, I guess, operation is watching it, it worked.
Yeah. Good job.
Nice.
I would totally be a Barbie.
Okay. All right. I have one item.
I'm excited for you to transition to your item.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard transition. Actually, the transition from Lupe Fiasco would have been a lot easier. But this is one thing in 2 videos. Sorry, I have to scroll back. I actually had this for a while and then forgot to show it to you the last couple times we recorded. It is R. Kelly at a concert in Ethiopia.
Okay. Like recently?
Passport. Did you get your shots? Girl, would you like to come back with Rob to America? America. Do you have your passport?
Is he talking to a specific person, the audience?
Girl,
The girls
would you
in the
like to
audience.
Oh my God.
come back with Rob to America? America. I got it.
So he's just asking girls in the audience if they have their passport.
They wanna
I feel
come.
like R. Kelly's whole thing is just that he sings like,
So, like, thoughts.
his ideas. Like, I don't know if you ever watched what's it called? Trapped in the Closet.
Mm-mm.
But it's just like dialogue that he just
That he
sings in that
sings.
same way.
That reminds
2
me
hours.
of when we were kids, my dad used to do a thing called Song of the Day. And
Yeah.
he would just like sing the day. And it was usually him being put upon by all of us.
Yeah.
And then he'd forget to sing and we'd scream like, sing!
Yeah.
And he'd be like, I got big goals.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of R. Kelly shtick. But one thing that I appreciate about this video as a drummer
Uh-huh.
is that, again, he's just like singing his thoughts about, do you have your passport? Do you have your shots? Do you want to come back with Rob to America?
Uh-huh.
They must have rehearsed this because the drummer emphasizes back with Rob to America,
Like he's on beat.
using the splash symbol. So
Wow.
at some point they must have at least rehearsed this once, and he was just like, hey, make sure to emphasize this point. Hold on, let me see if I can get right on it.
I never would have noticed that.
Would you like to come back with Rob?
That so there's a second part to this.
That's cool that you can observe music in that detail. I wish I had that skill.
Yeah.
Want someone to come home with me? Will it be you? Or will it be you?
Ay.
Or will it be one of you?
He's saying you have to be 18.
Great.
You can come.
Yeah. That one cut out in the middle a little bit, but he's running around with a sign that says 18.
Oh, God.
And he's just running around on stage saying, you have to be 18 to come back with me.
That's creepy.
So it seems like there's video evidence of him having used a lot of his shows to just coerce people or girls at his shows.
well, that's like a thing that's known about him now, right? That he...
Oh, I mean, he's in jail
Yeah,
for
exactly.
decades
Yeah.
because he's done horrible shit.
Yeah.
But I just feel like if you're the prosecuting side, there's no better evidence than him like singing his own crimes at people.
That's awful. Yeah, that's creepy.
Anyway, those are my items.
Nice. The drum highlighting the music was impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, shall we get into this?
Yeah. Do you think this is gonna make us fight?
I mean, I don't know. So the idea is to keep it lighthearted.
Oh, okay.
I even took some steps, and I looked up intervention letters and things to write.
I did
when
too.
doing
That's
it.
so funny. I googled like icks.
And I ended up on NorthJerseyRecovery.com.
Oh.
Yeah. It says, begin with a statement of compassion. Dad, in this case Yasmin, but I'm changing it to Yasmin.
Okay.
I know that you really love me and you're really proud of me. If it weren't for you, I'd not be where I am or get what I do. You taught me that that before I really rely on anyone else to do this for me, I need to learn how to take care of myself. You help me professional ambitions, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Then I outline a specific example of your substance abuse or
I don't think it's kind of ick we're talking about.
And how it affected you. Yasmin.
I'm not sure this framework really translates.
Oh, really?
But keep on going. I'm curious to see.
Okay. Your drinking has been has been a chronic part of our lives.
My what?
Well, I guess fill in the blank. It says
Oh,
drinking
okay.
here.
I thought you were going to like plug one in.
I'll have to do them one by one.
Got it.
Been a chronic part of our lives. We have not come over here immediately. Your time is running out. When it is so late in the evening when I call home to check in, you are, and then blank. But we'll fill these in. Do you want to give your
Interesting.
list first, or should we trade back and
I think
forth?
we should trade back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm not going to use that format though.
Okay.
Because to me, I will say, I think that these are things that you can get better at,
Okay.
but you don't expect like your partner to be perfect.
Ooh.
That's my hot take. So,
Okay. All right. Let's hear it. What you got?
I feel bad because you're so great.
No.
Okay, a very small one
Okay. Keep the microphone.
that
in your
you
mouth.
have improved at.
One is that you don't keep the microphone.
Yeah, I
in your
know.
mouth.
That's a major one.
Okay.
That's fair. Is you keep things in piles
Yeah.
a lot,
Piles are actually,
or you just don't unpack. Like
it's
you keep
genetic
them.
memory because the pyramids are kind of like a pile of stones. So I think it's just kind
You're
of.
trying, yeah, but you've gotten better at it. And like I'm very into the philosophy of like every object lives somewhere, and I feel like I've been very sweet in incorporating that, so I appreciate it. And I think we've gotten good at being like, okay, this is Ahmed's office space, like things can be in piles in the office space because that's your space, you know what I mean? Whereas like if it's a shared space, like there has to be a tray. And I think I've gotten better at finding solutions that work for both of us. Like I'm very tray oriented, I'm very like open shelving, because I think that keeps us more organized. So
I do love a good pile.
Yeah, you like piles a lot.
I appreciate how much you put up with it because I know it's not like your style, and then sometimes I'm just like, I'll like kick off my socks or something. But now I try to put them in the bin.
Oh, that's sweet. And like I think again, my thing is as long as things have a place to go, I don't really mind moving them. But
Yeah.
if there's like no system, my brain kind of breaks a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I certainly prefer your system. I think sometimes for me it falls apart if it's too cumbersome.
That's fair. Yeah.
And
And
we
not
have
everything
found good
comes as
solutions.
naturally to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we have found good solutions.
Okay.
Yeah.
My first one.
Uh-huh. I've got a
Is-
prediction. Okay, you go first though.
I'm gonna make you review yourself. Right here. Cinching bags. So
Cinching bags.
yeah, when we put like a frozen bag of vegetables in
We
the
talked about this before.
in the freezer, you will like cinch it in the middle,
Which
and
is
then
what most people do.
no,
Yeah.
and then you will like put a rubber band around that.
Yeah.
Instead of rolling it up and then wrapping the rubber band around the whole bag.
Yeah.
And that makes it very annoying to like get the rubber band off when the second person comes in.
Yeah.
It's also, it leads to more freezer burn because it's not like as airtight.
Interesting.
So
That's rough.
that
Yeah.
is rough.
That one I really appreciate that you kind of given up on me.
Yeah.
I should put more effort into it, but I just I appreciate that you don't usually say anything anymore, even though I know it's not your favorite,
Yeah.
which is nice of you.
I just dropped my head every time I
That's so sad.
go to the freezer.
Poor thing.
All right, what's next on your thing?
This is a small one, which doesn't happen that often, but letting food expire or like not using up food that is fresh.
I let food expire.
Yeah. Or you'll like make something and have to like get all the ingredients, like buy all the ingredients, which is fine, but like not using ingredients that are already in the pantry, or like making steak and then not eating all of it, so we have to throw some of it out, like letting stuff go.
Oh, I eat my steak. I just don't eat the fat.
No, but sometimes you'll make stuff and then it'll go bad because we don't eat it in time. Or like, this is the thing, I think it's more of like a thing we both have to get better at.
Yeah.
But I think I'm like very conscious of like using leftovers, I think, a little bit more.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say also, this happened more in the beginning of our relationship, is that you wouldn't care at all if something expired.
Yeah. I'm the opposite extreme, to be fair.
You would cook with it.
I rarely throw food out.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking about that today.
There have been 1 or 2 times when we had like spoiled milk in our tea or something.
Today, I threw out a peach because it had some
mold
on it. And I thought about cutting around it. And I was like, no, I'm going to throw it out. So that's growth. Because I think that when I was a grad student, I would have
the mold is growth.
I would have thrown out the mold and eaten the rest of the peach. So, you meet in the middle.
It's like the mold spores like spread everywhere, right?
But the peach is gone now.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Sharing toiletries.
That's what I thought your first one was going to be.
Yeah. I don't think this is an issue anymore, but I think in the beginning of our relationship or earlier.
Yeah.
And also more recently. First you wanted to use my toothbrush.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you did on a few occasions, and then I found out and I was very upset.
When I had to go all the way to Raleigh, I would forget mine.
I'd be like, oh, why don't you have a toothbrush? And you're like, I'm just using yours. I was like, that's disgusting. And also recently I found out that you used my razor
only one time, and I didn't even get to use it because
it was too complicated.
It was too complicated.
Yeah. But it's a safety razor.
I like 100% legitimately agreed with you on that. I felt really bad, and I was like, you were definitely right about that.
Because I used that razor on my face.
Yeah, I know you don't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't have a razor because we just moved.
Yeah. We do live within walking distance of a pharmacy.
We do. Yeah. I'm like a big moocher, honestly. My sisters will say this too. I'm very big on like, I don't pack much. I'm very light packer, which I always thought was a big accomplishment, and I still think is, but they say I just like steal all their shit when I'm home.
Yeah.
I also borrow a lot of your clothes. Less so now.
That's true.
Because mostly
you've taken ownership of the ones that you borrowed a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have some sub bullets on toiletries.
Okay.
Should I just go ahead and do that? Okay. You squeeze from the middle of the toothpaste tube.
I do.
Yeah. You love to do that. I don't know how you squeeze it. It's like you put it in the middle of your palm and then you just close your fist around it. You don't do like a normal delicate squeeze.
An hourglass
But
shape.
the toothpaste tube is like wrinkled.
Yeah.
How?
I don't know.
And then on the toothpaste tube, you don't put the cap all the way back on.
Oh, wow.
You just kind of like half close it.
Struggle.
That's it.
That's it.
On the bathroom toiletry stuff. Yeah.
Very legitimate.
All right. What you got? Do you feel? How do you feel?
I feel like that's all fair so
you feel
far.
good?
I feel good.
Okay. You don't feel unnecessarily attacked?
No, not at all.
That's good.
I just feel the right amount of attacked.
Okay. That's good.
This is for our old place, not with our new place. But in our old place, it was super small and all open concept.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we'd have a lot of little power struggles over light and sound. I wanted more light generally.
Yeah.
And I wanted less sound, or I also just wasn't, I think this is more of a beginning of our relationship or beginning of our marriage thing. I wasn't very good at communicating because actually once I started asking, you were super amenable, and I was like, oh, why didn't I do this sooner? But I feel like you would like play a podcast, or like I would like want to play something out loud, and I didn't want to hear both sounds.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot more space now, so actually it's really nice. It's like, even if I have the door open to the bedroom or the office, even if you're playing something and I'm playing something, it's not like close enough that it bothers me anymore. So it's not really an issue anymore.
Right.
But yeah, that used to be something.
I actually have here that you like the big light too much.
Yeah.
Overhead light.
I like a more direct light than you.
Yeah, you like the overhead light.
You're beautiful with lights. I mean, I really appreciate more now, like subtlety with light. But I also like to see, you You don't emphasize seeing very much.
Depends on what you want to see.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could benefit from some directed floor lamps,
Wow, that's radical.
but I don't like using the
overhead.
These aren't as severe as the last ones.
Yeah, these aren't a dimmer, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last ones were really fluorescent. That was hard.
Yeah, these are warmer.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have here that you're an overly optimistic pantry cook sometimes. So
That's like the inverse. Yeah, I totally
the inverse
am.
of me. Because sometimes we will just have we'll be looking at our pantry and we're just like, okay, we have an onion, a shoestring, and a record player. And you're like, I think we could make dinner out of that. And I'm like, I think we should probably either just go out to eat, because
Yeah.
clearly we both are too busy or tired to make anything, or just go shopping. Usually advocating for the former.
Right.
And you're like, no, look, the shoestring is noodles, and the record player is the plate, and the onion is a meatball.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
That's really
sounds
accurate.
gross.
I'll live off of scraps for forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
We have one bone in the refrigerator, and you're like, I
you know
think
what
that's a
that
meal.
could be? Yeah.
Yeah.
our old neighbors and friends actually were super helpful in kind of shaming us into doing bigger grocery shops.
Yeah.
Not intentionally, but they came over a
This
couple
is,
times and they're just like,
they looked in our fridge.
do you have food? And I was like,
Yeah.
probably. I was like, we have a shoestring and a bone.
Well, I think you and I
We both are not big into grocery shopping.
we had the habit of just we didn't really plan groceries
Meals.
ahead of time.
Yeah.
We just would shop for the thing that we wanted to make that day. Which
yeah.
is
And I would just
not
live off the
sustainable.
pantry. Yeah.
Yeah. And I really got into that habit because the place I lived in before, I lived a block from a grocery store. So I really didn't need to
Do big shops.
do a
That's
big
how I
shop.
grew up more. Yeah.
But then at this last place, we kind of had to drive to a grocery store, so it was kind of annoying. And then
Yeah.
we started doing proper grocery shopping, and we were like, wow,
Look how much food we have.
this is great.
Yeah. It was definitely one of those things that we made the adjustment. We were like,
Yeah.
there really is more
There's
food.
something to this.
Yeah. I think here I see us doing a big co-op shop once every 2 weeks. But then I think in between we're good with Salem's, which is nice. It's an Arab grocery store in walking distance. So that's a nice happy medium. We won't have to go every week,
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people have much better, I think you and I are similar in this, I'm thinking of the same neighbor who is really good at just kind of consistently doing a grocery shop a week at a different store. And for some reason, my brain can't handle more than 2 stores. I just find that overwhelming. Of course, if we really needed an ingredient, I would go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really want to regularly go to more than 2 places. That sounds silly, but I just it feels like a lot of effort.
Interesting.
So in my head, I'm like, cool, Salem's and co-op check. I'll probably never go to the Trader Joe's, even though it's really close.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not an ick. That's just a functioning thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
All right, this one will sound serious, but it's not serious because I'll give an example.
Uh-oh.
So I think assuming a tendency to kind of worry that things will turn out badly, or kind of assuming worst case scenario. And my example of this, and this might be sensitive,
Okay.
is before we moved to Pittsburgh, you looked on Google for bakeries.
Yeah.
And you were like, there's no good bakeries in Pittsburgh. And you were really sad because you're a big bakery guy and really into baked goods. And I think you're right in that we haven't found a good one-for-one in a way that we would have in other cities with your favorite bakery in Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
But we have had a lot of really good baked goods. I think if you add up all the different places we've gone, the Italian place and Madeline's and the pie place that didn't show up on Google Maps.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Point the top of the microphone at your mouth.
Yeah.
In my defense,
Mm-hmm.
it's not me saying there's not going to be a single good baked good, but comparably, there's not as good of a bakery.
I don't believe that was your first pass.
I haven't had
believe
as
your
good of a
first pass as it was not that there wasn't as good of a bakery, but that there were no bakeries in the city that you would enjoy.
Maybe.
Yeah. But that's fair. I mean, I don't think you found, certainly in terms
I haven't
of
had a good chocolate croissant.
And that's your favorite.
Yeah.
And also in terms of the kind of community vibe, I don't think we found a place that holds a candle to Bolted, which is a beautiful bakery.
Yeah. The guy at Unmentioned Bakery accidentally put an extra cookie in my box, and then when he was ringing me up, he's like, I think, and he made me open up the box and then he took the cookie out. I'm like, bro,
That's like
what?
so ungenerous. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like for contrast, I mean, granted, the people at Bolton knew you very well because you've been going there for years, you've taken classes there and stuff, but they would
Just
like
one
regularly
big
give
class.
us free pastries all the time, which is like so generous and sweet.
They're very sweet.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, no, I think you're right. I think I tend to look for, I guess, the things that I care about. I'm just like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna find as good of a place. I don't mean it to sound dire. I'm not like, oh, now I hate this place or whatever. It's like irredeemable. I was like, oh, I just don't think it's gonna be.
But I see it. I don't know if you see it this way. Maybe you see it as a separate thing. But I see it linked a little bit to like not glass half full, but like kind of just assuming that the worst will happen. Not the worst, but that like things won't be as good again, or that like luck is running out.
That's
Maybe those things are
interesting.
not linked. To be fair, I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'll have to think about that. It's a good point.
Do you feel okay?
Yeah. I want you to probably, I'm just going to take a wild guess here.
Okay.
Okay. Reach your hand under the couch and just kind of move around and see what you can pull out. Okay. See if you can do another one.
Do you think it's gonna be a date? Did you plan a date here? Did you set me up?
No, I did not. I'm just,
I can't see it, but I do feel something.
okay. So I have here a category of like, you just leave a trail of your evidence of your having been there. And what did you just pull out from under the couch?
A bitten pencil.
A chewed up pencil.
Yeah.
So I've been finding chewed up pencils around the place. Also gummies, vitamin gummies on the bathroom floor.
They fell.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that what happened? You weren't like ravenously
No.
going into the jar?
No, they all fell, and I tried to pick them up, but I might have missed a few.
Did they all fall on the
Yeah.
bathroom floor?
Yeah.
Are you still eating them? Yes. Oh my god, that's so gross. Just buy new gummies.
No.
You mean that's so disgusting.
So wasteful.
They fell off the bed. That's so gross. I'm throwing them away. I'm throwing them away.
They're mine.
That's so gross.
They're mine. Don't throw them away.
That's really disgusting.
I didn't know
They
there's gonna
fell on
be
the
so many
bathroom floor.
bathroom-based things.
What?
I didn't know there's going to be so many bathroom-based stuff, like the razor and the...
Well, don't eat off the
Gummies.
bathroom floor. That's
But it just like, it was on it for like a second, and I scooped them all back up. They're
that's
my,
not how germs work.
They're my gummies.
They're
but
gummies. If
anyway,
anything, they're more sticky
If it makes
to
you feel
germs.
better, I'm not like throwing them on the floor every time I eat them. It was one time they fell.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is date pits.
That's like my worst thing.
So you'll eat a date with your coffee in the
Every
morning.
morning with coffee, I have a date. Yeah.
And then, especially at our last place, I would turn on the garbage disposal and suddenly the blades would be stopped up and I'd be like, there must be a date pit that ended up in here somehow.
You found them in crazy places. They were like in the trunk
In
of
the
the car.
car.
Yeah. I don't know how.
Under the couch, on the rug.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just kind of leave them around. You're like Johnny Appleseed, but...
With dates. No,
Yeah.
that's legit. I've been surprised by the places I found them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
That's all I had.
That's all you had?
Yeah.
I got a few more.
Okay.
One is...
I'll think of some. You go first.
Some of these are... It's not really like an ick that I have. It's just... It's not even for my sake. It's more for yours.
Interesting.
Like you won't learn how to make coffee. And
I really believe in that.
I love making coffee for you. It's
Yeah.
actually like one of my joys every morning because I get
Aw,
to,
that's so
make you
sweet.
coffee and stuff.
Yeah.
But when I'm not here,
I don't have any coffee.
I'm like, what do you... I'm like, I could teach you a simple method.
No, my feeling on this, I feel really
If one
strongly about
husband is
this.
gone, I just don't have coffee.
Well, one, I used to not be as regular of a coffee drinker before we got together. So
Right.
if I was alone, I'd probably just go back to having black tea every morning.
You also never really drank black coffee.
I didn't, but then you combined with my friend Ashwak when I figured out the date hack. I'm really into it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my other feeling is, I don't know. It just like, it sounds silly, but I feel like there's like it's probably better to be more well-rounded, but I feel like it's a division of labor with some things, and it's something you do well, and I really appreciate you doing it, and I have no desire to do it. And there's other things I do, so I'm just like, you got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there have been times where, like, at our old place, like, you would leave early to go to the bakery, and I'd wake up and I'd be like, damn, I really want coffee.
Yeah.
And we live too far from a coffee place. Now I could just walk across the street, which would be nice. Yeah.
Well, you can't walk across the street anymore.
Lola's.
That place closed down. Oh,
I guess it
Lola's.
depends on the day of the week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You could always go to Constellation. That
True.
place it's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's a nice walk.
Multiple walking locations.
Okay. Flinching while I drive.
Wait, does that really bother you?
No, again, these are things that I'm just like, I don't know why you do.
Oh, I just do it because I can't, you know this, I can't
as I'm
calculate the
merging-
distance between things, and I feel like we're about to hit someone and they're going to be angry, or I feel like we're about to get hit.
So I'll be driving on the
Yeah.
highway or I'll be merging into busy traffic, or
Yeah.
I'm driving and then someone else is merging and you feel like we're coming up on them. You just kind of like, like you make a noise and you like kind of tense up.
I completely trust you. You're
And
such
I'm
a
like,
safe driver. I was in 2
listen,
car accidents recently,
you know what it
both of
reminds
which
me
were
of?
my fault, and I'm just like a little more tense in cars now.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of is when Batata, the cat,
Yeah.
the same way that if I'm carrying a box or something around her and she gets like all scared.
Yeah,
and
like we're going to
like
beat the
runs
shit out
away.
of her when she's had like a perfect life her whole life. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, when have I ever done anything to you?
But the car scares me. It's not you. When it's other drivers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Last thing is the butter.
I have one more thing. Should I go first before you do butter?
Oh yeah, okay.
I thought of another one.
You thought of another one?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I think this is mostly a strength,
Okay.
but once in a while being more willing to like break procedure. So with recipes, like breaking procedure, or with like the way something's supposed to be done, you often want to do it a very specific way.
Right.
And usually
That's
that
true.
is the most efficient way. Actually, it's not always the most efficient way, but it's usually like the most beautiful way, which is very sweet. Or the way that's like most pleasing to you. But sometimes it's like not as efficient,
Yeah.
and I just want it to be done, or
Right.
I just want to like, for whatever reason, I just want to try it a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
The butter.
Yeah, you'll like scoop the butter out of the packaging or like rip the packaging and it's halfway
Yeah.
down like the stick of butter. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you can just, it's like measured so that you can cut it in the proportions that you need and it stays nice in the packaging.
Yeah. My old roommate and good friend, when I was away for the end of the summer, I think I've told you this, sent me like a collection of things around the house that I'd opened, like pictures. And it was like raccoon Yasmin, like I'd opened the cereal
you do
box,
kind of
I'd
like,
opened,
Yeah. You just kind of rip packaging apart.
Yeah. I just want it to be open.
Yeah, you don't really, in the moment, you're not really thinking about storage.
I never think about it. Yeah. I'm just like,
Which is crazy to me because you're so organized.
Yeah. I'm like,
And you would think that would be part of the
we're
organization.
actually very well suited in that way because I'm like organized, but I'm not actually very neat. And you, I think, are the opposite. You're quite neat, but not always organized. So we bounce each other out well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started to write down things that make life better
Aww.
because I wanted to do your feedback sandwich thing.
I love that.
You like a feedback sandwich?
Yes,
I'll give
this
you a
is one that
fucking
you do with
feedback
students
sandwich.
and that you also should do with everyone. It's a compliment sandwich.
Yeah.
So you start with a compliment.
Hey, buddy, nice shoes. You fucking moron.
And then you
Have a
give
nice
the thing
day.
that they could improve on. And then you end with a positive thing. So it's a paper, you say like, this is such a great topic. I can tell you're really passionate about it. I'm not seeing a clear thesis.
Uh-huh.
I think that when you rewrite this and have a thesis, this
It
will be an
shouldn't be as
awesome
shitty,
paper.
yeah.
And that's the kind of, I'm like a little delicate flower. Actually, I'm probably pretty annoying. That's the kind of feedback I like to receive.
I started writing stuff down and
Aw.
then got distracted. But
Just give me like one or two. I'll give you one or two.
I have organizing. That's made our lives better.
Aw.
And then we have a similar aesthetic sense, which is nice.
Yeah, super nice. I never thought that would matter to me as much as it does, or that I would enjoy that as much as I do. But I think I realized that it trickles over to other parts of our life besides like decorating. And of course I enjoy decorating, but I think even like when we host people and stuff, like I feel like it comes into play with that, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also feel like you're very accommodating. Like I don't really love doing dishes, and you do the dishes a lot.
But I don't make coffee, so
You don't
it
make
works
coffee.
out. Yeah.
Like I'll do dishes every once in a while.
Yeah.
But
I
you
really don't mind
definitely-
doing dishes, so it doesn't
you
bother
definitely
me.
stay on top of it.
Yeah.
So that's
Good
nice.
employee.
great employee.
I would say you are. I mean, the thing I always like first was drawn to about you is you have a good like depth of vision, like good big picture thinking. That makes our life very like
not literal depth of vision.
No, you
I thought because you didn't wear your glasses at all, you were like, oh man, this guy can see in 3D.
You also have glasses, so
yeah, I wear my glasses.
Yeah. No, I mean like vision
I can
for
guide you through hallways.
Yeah, you're great with that. Read me the ice cream menu, but also I think just like in terms of like big picture ideas, like even this podcast, like I was depressed with my dissertation. I was like, I need a project. And you like came up with this like within a day, I think. So just, yeah, like, I don't know what the word for that is, but I think like creativity and vision, I think that's what it is. Yeah, which I appreciate a lot and was drawn to in you. And a willingness to like actually do stuff, which is great. Like actually try out things and experiment. And you make good coffee and you make good bread and you make good bone broth. And you have a love for like beauty, which makes our lives very rich.
I would say you do too. I don't think this marriage could work if that wasn't the case.
That's good.
If you were like looking at a flower and you're like, wow, what do you think of this? I was like, don't give
but
a shit.
I don't know. I feel like you're willing to like actually stop and like, yeah. I mean, not that we're all perfect in every moment, but I like that about you. I'm still laughing. I think it's so funny that my defense for the vitamin thing turned out to be another ick.
Yeah. That's oh, I had one last one that I didn't read.
Tell me.
And every once in a while, this actually isn't an ick, it's just like a funny thing that I noted. Every once in a while you smell like my dad's friends, because you use that shaving cream.
Oh yeah.
You use like the Brute shaving.
Did you notice that I just got women's shaving cream?
No, you did?
Yeah.
It actually doesn't bother me, but it's funny because every once in a while when you I'm like, oh, you shaved, because you smell like all my dad's friends who I had to call uncle when I was little.
I love men's
and I know the
cream.
exact kind. It's like barber salt or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's such like a
strong sense.
That's like a memory smell. You know what I'm saying?
I'm happy to bring that to you.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I have to stop calling you boo and start calling you uncle.
It's always a good role play.
But no, that's it.
Something else that's cute about you. There's
cute?
a lot of things, obviously, but how well you took care of the cat and how much you love her is very sweet.
I mean, she's a pet. I took care of her like a pet. You know, I didn't like abuse her.
No, but I feel like you like pay a lot of attention to her rhythms and you're like very in sync in a very cute way.
She and I kind of have developed like a little language between the two of us, and
it's adorable.
I've used it to instill discipline in her.
But the more cute part of that is like how playful you guys are together. It's very sweet. Yeah.
But only through rigorous discipline. It took a while.
I'm sure.
Because if I just let her go buck wild, she'd be annoying. But she's appropriately playful.
She's adorable.
I'm going to do the same thing with you. I'm kidding.
You're going to get canceled.
Yeah, I'll cut that out. That's fine.
The power of the editor.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Like I said, I think you're very accommodating, and I think with a bunch of chronic pain stuff, like one thing that I always worried about was it's like very coupled with depression. Yeah. And I was just like, oh man, this is gonna like really wear her down over time, and it's gonna be annoying. But you're very patient.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you also work really hard, which I feel bad for, but I think that you work really hard probably to make that. I think the longer I'm with you, the more I realize how much effort you put into like not letting that take over. So I think most of the credit for that.
It does sometimes though.
But not that often. I mean, considering how often you're in pain, it's honestly pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I think also it's
as of today, having a pretty good pain day.
Which is so exciting.
Yeah.
I think it's also it's tricky, but I think for you feel, I mean, I can't know this, but my impression is that you feel like a profound disconnect when you don't feel present in your body.
Yeah.
Which must be really frustrating, and I have more of a sense of that now, but you still feel present to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you feel as absent as you think you are, or like if you're not forming memories in the same way, that must be confusing, but you're still experiencing stuff with me. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Anything else?
No, when we come at you again, we'll have just come back from Boston and New York, and we'll be back in Pittsburgh doing some reading.
Yeah, I think we said we'll do an Arundhati Roy essay,
Yeah,
right?
I'm excited for that.
Cool.
I got to pick one.
All right.
Bye.
Talk to you next time. Bye.